On February 13th, 1996, my dad came home from work. It was a normal Tuesday in North Carolina. He came home to his pregnant wife, comfortable in bed, ready to have the baby at home. Since my dad was convinced they would be better off having the baby in the hospital, he got my mom down the stairs and on all fours in the back seat of our 1987 Chevrolet Nova. He rushes her to the hospital, honking like crazy through redneck North Carolina traffic. When they finally get to the hospital, my mom gets out of the car, water bags swinging like a pendulum, ready to have the baby. The nurse that came out decided the baby would be better born in the ER. They rushed my mom to the ER, and after 3 pushes, I was out, ready to tackle the world. I was almost born in a car, and in some ways that is the perfect way to describe what cars mean to me. Cars are almost equivalent to a womb for me, a safe space that I never want to leave. It is home to me in a way that it is not for many people. Every time I get into the car, it is like coming home. It is where I belong. Now that I've gotten my history with cars out of the way, let's get down to the history of muscle cars.
On a day like today, a Saturday, in 1964, John DeLorean, the chief engineer at GM at the time, he and a team of people were having a meeting about the 1964 Pontiac Tempest. Now this was the equivalent of this is like a Honda Accord, kind of a mid-sized sedan, and they were talking about this 1964 Tempest, and one of the chief engineers there said to John, hey, why don't we throw the 389 into this car? It's got the same engine mounts, all we would need is, a few heavier springs in the front, and it's a perfect match. John DeLorean gave him the nod, and a week later, they came out with the first muscle car, the 1964 Pontiac Tempest with the GTO package. Now, muscle cars came out in a time of turmoil. While they were being built, the Vietnam War was in full swing. It was kind of about the middle of the Vietnam War. Well, at about this time, people were realizing we need to pull out of Vietnam. So soldiers were coming home and they were well off. They had money because they didn't spend it. And so these young 18 to 25-year-old soldiers with money were looking for something like a thrill that money could buy. Enter the muscle car. This muscle car was, to them, freedom from the war that they had just been in. I mean, their friends were getting injured and dying, and they're at home now, and they are free from all of this. They are free from their parents. They are free from society's grasps. I mean, this car was a newfound sense of freedom for them. And after the creation of the muscle car, the car was not just a point A to point B anymore. People bought these cars to have fun, to drag race, to race their friends, to figure out who can put more power in a car. I mean, it was a historical change that was brought on by turmoil in America. The muscle car gave them this freedom because they could step in the car and be gone in a second, to be able to get away from the problems and escape them, even for a little bit. And that's what we do today. That's what my friends and I do today. We get in the car and we go for a drive. I can't remember the last time I didn't think about something in a car. As I've told many people, a car is the place where I think the best. I think that is the way that muscle cars were back then. It was kind of an escape from reality for these 18 to 25-year-old males. They were cheap, fast, and fun cars, just like they are still today.
My car is my happy place. I picked it out for me. After searching for more than 6 months, I found the perfect car. There are not many times while driving this car I do not have a smile on my face. From birth up until now, I have been obsessed with cars. I grew up playing with Matchbox cars, and as soon as I could get my license, I did. My life is cars. I eat, sleep, and breathe cars. It's what I do, and it's what I have as a passion. I have a passion for keeping my cars at tip-top shape. I clean them weekly so that the paint is noticeably shiny. I want people to notice that I care for my car. I have passion for building cars the way that I want to build them. I am always looking for how to get that extra tenth of a second quicker lap time. Always trying to push my car to its full potential. I am always working on making this car perfect in my eyes. A car, in my eyes, is a blank canvas, and it is a way to express who I am through it. I can make it exactly how I want it to be. The idea of being finished with a car is always changing, so I am always changing this idea of a finished product. But the finished product is always on my mind. It's a crazy loop that is never ending. This car has created an identity for me. It helped me find a group of friends in a brand new city. When I moved to Dallas in 2015, I knew absolutely nobody. During my gap year, I decided to use my earnings from my work to pay for this car. This car opened up a world of friendships I would never have had if it were not for this car. After breaking into the car scene, I started going to weekly car meets and monthly car meets with new friends, always meeting new people. It was people like this friend that helped me break into the car scene. Going to these car meets and hanging with friends opened my eyes to the different modifications I could do on my cars. Through these car meets, I started to notice all the unique things that people can do with cars. When you have a passion for a certain car, ideas on what you can do with it start to flow. Seeing the creativity and the time and energy that people have put into these cars makes me love cars more. From weekly car meets to Friday night drags, I was a part of this Dallas car culture. I will forever be grateful for this car because it has helped me forge some of my strongest friendships. And that, to me, is priceless.